You've been lied to. You've been told that success is something you chase. You become successful through hard work, grafting, sacrificing time with your loved ones perhaps, taking risks, and finally, with a dose of luck for good measure, success will finally be yours. But suppose I put it to you that you can attract success effortlessly. What if I suggested that success is an inside job that doesn't need chasing because it's already there? The following ideas were inspired by the great motivational speaker, the late Jim Rohn, although, as you'll discover, I don't agree with him on all points. Let's jump in. Hi, I'm Trevor, and when I was in my 20s, I thought that success looked like a good job, a happy marriage and family life, a decent car, and no debt apart from a mortgage, which I thought every grown-up had. I worked hard for all of it. I got the job, but my first marriage was a disaster. I drove cars that were falling to bits even when I bought them, and I amassed a mountain of debt. I also believed that happiness was a byproduct of success. Once I was on top of everything, I thought, of course, I'd be happy. But it seemed that the harder I worked, the less successful I became, and as for being happy, forget it. It took me many years, but eventually I came to see that it was the struggling and hard work that was actually causing my troubles, and that when I stopped struggling and chasing, everything fell into place. Over time, I was able to crystallize what I was discovering into a simple, effortless way of manifesting, and I've written it down in a free ebook called Let's Manifest a Ferrari, which you can get yourself a copy of by clicking the link at the top of the description below this video. A key element of Jim Rohn's teachings about success is that it isn't something you need to chase, it's something you attract. At one time, I would have understood that to mean that you should visualize the trappings of success and perhaps make vision boards covered in lifestyle pictures of big houses, luxury cars, and so on. But these days, I see that that's like trying to pull yourself off the ground by tugging at your own shoelaces. It's extremely hard work, and in the end, futile. Just who are you trying to convince? And if you're trying to convince yourself that you're a successful person, then deep down, you're clearly believing that you're not. And Jim does go on to explain that there are certain character traits you can develop or perhaps emphasize, such as discipline, integrity, and generosity, which are attractive to opportunities that can lead to success. He's quite right about those, but there are two questions that he doesn't seem to address, which seem vitally important to me. The first is, what is success to you? And the second is, why would you start from a place of believing that you need to improve yourself before you can have that success? Let's take those one by one. A dictionary definition of success says this: success is the state or condition of meeting a defined range of expectations. It may be viewed as the opposite of failure. And later it mentions this: it may be difficult or impossible to ascertain whether a situation meets criteria for success or failure due to ambiguous or ill-defined criteria. And we mustn't discuss success without mentioning the pervasive notion of the American dream, about which the dictionary says this: a private opinion survey by the think tank Populus found that Americans now emphasize secure retirement, financial independence, parenthood, and work fulfillment as their American dream. From all of this, I think it's reasonable to conclude that success is a very personal matter, and yet many people think of themselves as failures if they don't do what their parents wanted them to do. So it seems to me that before you can even cultivate integrity, which is another way of saying being true to yourself and your values, you need to first follow your own heart. What's the point of being, shall we say, a highly paid lawyer or doctor if you wanted to be a singer or join the circus? If you reach the end of your working life, or the end of your actual life, having earned decent money, but spent decades wishing you'd chosen a different path for yourself, will you really consider yourself to have been a success? Is doing something you don't enjoy but doing it well being successful in your book? For me, the answer to that is no. But you may not agree with me, and that's fine. The point is, in order for you to be successful, the first thing you'd better know is what success actually looks and feels like for you. Let's move on to Jim Rohn's second point about certain character traits such as perseverance, integrity, and generosity being attractive to success. My question is, why would you believe you don't have those things already? Look, I can't count the number of things I had a go at in my life and gave up on. Books left half read that will probably never get finished. Learning the violin was another. But that wasn't because I lacked perseverance. I spent years and a lot of money learning how to make my living doing what I love, which is writing and teaching this kind of thing, so that I could quit my day job. Looking back, I started down that road in the late 90s and finally got free of my day job in 2014, so that's at least 15 years. I fell in love with the acoustic guitar when I was 13, and I'm still playing half a century later. I'm not saying these things to brag, but to point out that qualities like perseverance aren't something else you need to cultivate. You're already equipped with them when you follow your heart. I wasn't enjoying those books. The sound of the violin didn't touch my soul the way a well-played guitar does. Are you seeing a theme here? Following your heart leads you to your success, not the dictionary's idea of success, not your parents' wishes for how you live your life. I'll tell you my definition, and you can see if it resonates with you. Again, I won't take it in the slightest bit personally if it doesn't. It goes something like this. I want to wake up every morning excited to have another day to do what I love. Then I want to do those things and also spend time with someone I love and who loves me. I want to always have enough money, the fruits of doing what I love and not a job I dislike or resent, to choose what I do with my time for the rest of my life. I don't want to work to anyone else's rules or schedule, and I don't ever want to wake up to an alarm clock unless it's set of my own free will. Finally, I want everything I do to feel fun and exciting, and I want to know that I'm making a positive difference to people's lives because that's what I love. And then I want to go to bed every night relaxed and happy that I've spent another day well lived. Now, I'm thrilled to report that that now describes to a T what my life is like. But in the light of that, I have to address another premise that Jim Rohn mentions and is common to many of the motivational speakers, and that's the issue of goals. My success definition, you may have noticed, doesn't contain any measurable outcomes. I don't say, I want to have $10 million in the bank by the time I'm 30 or any such thing. Nor do I specify how I want to achieve those dreams, partly because I've always known that I love writing and teaching and making a positive difference to people's lives, so it went without saying. The universe, to which we're all as connected as your television set is connected to the power supply in your home, already knew that about me. Goals make you struggle. Jim says you need clarity, but as I've just mentioned, I didn't specify how I was going to get what I wanted because my heart already knew, as your heart knows for you. Goals also set you up for failure. I mean, suppose you set yourself a goal of achieving something that really matters to you in, let's say, 6 months, and then you don't make it. How do you feel? Like a failure, right? The common law of attraction teachings have much the same effect. You're told to vividly imagine yourself living the life of your dreams, and it all goes belly up. You don't blame the universe, you blame yourself for not visualizing enough or getting the images vivid enough. Manifesting just doesn't work that way. The universe, which is essentially the equivalent of your power supply, is completely neutral. It doesn't have a view about whether you can have something or not. In my opinion, success can't be measured by achievements or your bank balance. How many apparently successful people have become drug addicts or even killed themselves? Success is an inside job. If you're happy, in love with life, success is already yours. And if you're not, then the only thing in your way is nothing to do with outside circumstances. It's your own thinking about your unworthiness, perhaps, or your belief in some limitation or other. Learn to ignore those thoughts. That's all, by the way. Just ignore them. You don't need to unearth subconscious limiting beliefs, because you'll never know if you've done that. You don't need to police your own thoughts and insist you only think positive ones, because you'll never do it, any more than you can decide only to notice the colour green or listen only to the bass player in every pop song. Just ignore those thoughts when they come. Brush them aside as nonchalantly as you'd brush your fringe out of your eyes, and you'll discover that beneath all that mental noise you're already equipped with strong desires that will give you perseverance. Your integrity will take care of itself when you align with your heart's desires. And your happiness will be waiting for you like the sun coming out from behind storm clouds. In case you're struggling with any of the ideas I've discussed today, especially the part about ignoring thoughts that get in your way, I suggest watching this video called Abundance Mindset Glass Half Full Myth Busted. I'll put a link to it up on the screen and in the description too. It's all effortless. And if you're interested to know more about my effortless manifesting system, then do get a copy of my free ebook, Let's Manifest a Ferrari, by clicking the link at the top of the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon in another video.